We're gonna breathe in for 7, and we're gonna scream out. Scream for how long? 10. L. That's a lot of seconds.
That was Daisuke Tsuji, better known as Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima, one of my favorite games of all time. And yikes, it's yet another one of those situations where ignorance is bliss. I wish I never even saw this stuff because it makes me not even want to support these kind of games going forward. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Huge shout out to Tebow from Minimal Effort Gaming and the Fandom Pulse for bringing this to my attention because holy crap, it is one of the most unhinged, psychotic rants that I've seen from somebody who works in the game industry, specifically on a game that I love, completely destroying all of our love for the game because we see the person behind the scenes is actually psychotic, completely filled to the brim with Trump Derangement Syndrome. Not just screaming nutty things into the void, but then actively calling for people to do things to end this. And that's totally normal, right? Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for the full article breaking down how the voice actor for Jin Sakai had a mental breakdown on a stream, screaming for 10 seconds straight, and that's not even close to the worst of it.
We have to, keep dealing with the black goop that's overtaking the world. And it's like, well, I guess to heal the world, we have to destroy the black goop. But without that, we can't really do anything. So it's like, oh man, we got the black goop again. We just gotta keep destroying the black goop. Yeah, and that's the orange goop. And I don't, when I say destroy it, I'm not inciting violence.
These days, it's becoming all too familiar, unfortunately. In an expected display of political range, Daisuke Tsuji, the voice of Ghost of Tsushima's protagonist Jin Sakai, took to his Twitch channel to unleash a tirade of screaming at the camera and putting his Trump Derangement Syndrome on full display following the recent results of the US election. And I know we all have our way of coping with things that might not go our way, and we might not like certain things that happen, but we deal with them because that's what life is. We have the challenges and we try to overcome them. We don't try to end the things that we disagree with. Well, at least I don't. I've had plenty of concerns with the sequel announcement of Ghost of Tsushima, but now we're finding out that the voice actor in Ghost of Tsushima has been just as bad and sketchy as Erika Ishii, which will regrettably be moving the series forward 300 years and introducing that new female protagonist of Atsu. It seems like the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree when it comes to these voice actor activists that are behind the scenes in the game industry, pushing their agenda and having mental breakdowns, going unhinged when things don't go their way. During his Twitch stream, Tsuji bizarrely led viewers through a breathing exercise to help manage election stress, only to end the session by screaming for a full 10 seconds. A spectacle that left me pretty stunned and confused, to be kind. And the real controversy wasn't even that. It started coming in when he talked about how he likened President Trump to Marvel's infamous villain Venom. Now think about that. Him screaming into the camera for a full 10 seconds is not the craziest part about this. Just listen to what he had to say about how he likens Trump to Venom here, and then calls for violence, but then quickly catches himself and says, but don't actually do anything, guys, right?
And then, of course, this alien, this black evil alien, latches onto Peter and Harry and exploit their weakness, exploit their trauma, to do what they want to do, which is essentially to survive. And they're left with like the Venom, and they're like, oh, we gotta heal the world by defeating Venom, right? That's pretty much the plot, and it really aligns with what I feel is going on in the world, where it's like we just want to let science like help the world, make the world a better place. And we have the capability of doing that. But instead, we have to like keep dealing with the black goop that's overtaking the world. And it's like, well, I guess to heal the world, we have to destroy the black goop. But like, without that, like we can't really do anything. So it's like, oh man, we got the black goop again. We just gotta keep destroying the black goop. Yeah, and that's the orange goop. And I don't, when I say destroy it, I'm not inciting violence. This is all metaphor, obviously. But it's like, why does the black goop keep winning?
So according to Tsuji, Trump is being likened to the black goop that is Venom, and it needs to be destroyed. Yeah, it's totally normal. But not just destroyed for the sake of destroying it. Destroyed to heal the world. He later clarified that he wasn't endorsing violence because, yeah, that probably wouldn't be a great look. But let's be honest, what's going on in the upstairs of the brains of these people, we are seeing on full display right now as they break down for all to see. His metaphor feels pretty damn inflammatory here. In light of the recent security threats against Trump, Tsuji's comments were, at best, very irresponsible, but at worst, disturbingly suggestive. But then again, should any rational human being be surprised by these kind of outbursts at this point? We've seen a plethora of people online melting down in front of cameras, going so bizarrely insane that I'm questioning who's doing it to act in front of the camera so that they get attention, and who's actually this crazy, because the gray area overlaps both of them. Because the people that are actually this crazy are so unhinged that they're actually looking like they're acting, because it's just so utterly ridiculous. This is not how a normal person would act. But then he goes even further. After his Venom comparison, he dives deeper into the broader critique of American politics, even though he admittedly doesn't know much about them, which could be pretty dangerous to try to talk to your audience about something while you say, well, I don't know much about this, but here's my opinion on why it all needs to change.
Things that like people after last when Trump was gone, people were throwing out ideas of like, hey, let's get rid of electoral college. That's not working. Electoral college, I don't know much about it, but part of the reason why they did it was because so that in a case where citizens make a terrible choice of electing somebody who's clearly unfit for office, the electoral what are the voters, electoral something, they can be the one to step up and be like, hey, clearly this person is not fit for office, so maybe not elect this guy. That's the whole point of an electoral college. And of course they're not going to do that, because even though Frumpy, what are we calling him? Doesn't really matter. Frump is clearly not fit for office. But yeah, that's not going to happen.
He argues that the term limits need to be imposed on Supreme Court justices and suggests that the Electoral College should be abolished entirely. And according to Tsuji, the Electoral College was intended to remove unfit candidates. And he believes that Trump fits that criteria because reasons. And Orange Man bad. So yeah, the Electoral College, that needs to go. Let's just go with the popular vote. Oh wait.
So clearly electoral college is not working. So it's like it's clearly a bad system And could the Democrats could have, like, in the past 4 years been like, you know what? Fuck this nonsense. Let's change it. Fuck the Supreme Court life term appointment. Let's make that you know, I don't know, let's make that a 4-year, 6-year thing.
And then getting into the most puzzling of Tsuji's thoughts was how this supposed cabal of billionaires orchestrated Trump's re-election, suggesting that Kamala Harris lost favor because they had already decided Trump had won. So apparently the Illuminati that was against Trump is now all of a sudden for Trump. I'm just trying to keep up with what's going on with this mysterious puppeteer behind the scenes pulling all the strings and deciding the fate of the world that we all don't know about. But apparently it's Trump now, and Trump's the good one to go with for them.
The whole Washington Post and other which one was it? Washington Post and something else didn't endorse Harris, and I'm kind of suspicious. Like, I feel like they knew something we didn't. I feel like the powers that be, the people who pay the elections, I think they know. I think they already knew how this was gonna go down. And yeah, this is going into conspiracy nut job territory. I don't know why I'm doing that. But I think the billionaires have some kind of club, and they're choosing, and they know. But that's just my conspiracy theory.
He claimed that the lack of endorsement from the Washington Post was evidence of this supposed plot, a theory that conveniently ignores Harris's campaign fundraising success, which significantly outpaced Trump's, upwards of $1 billion or more going into Harris's campaign, ending it at the point where, like most Democrats do, end up in debt. Tsuji even veers into conspiracy territory, referencing a certain docuseries showing Trump dictating to a young woman who manages his Truth Socials post. And according to Tsuji, she only got the position because she's hot. Trying to further his critique of Trump and his superficiality with how he selects people, knowing literally nothing about the situation, just looking at people at face value. Kind of like what DEI does.
There's a video going around on YouTube of Trump and his team watching Kamala Harris's speech, and basically I think Donald Trump is like live tweeting on, like, commenting on Kamala Harris's speech, and and everybody's just around him are like pitching in on, you know, what they're gonna. It's probably the Truth Social. And they're like, you know, tweeting out things, and never go into the comment section, because the comment section is all like, wow, this is great transparency. Like, I'm so glad that, you know, these guys are gonna run the country. And, you know, mostly positive of like, oh, wow, this is great. Like, this is backstage, real, what's happening in real life. And in my mind, I'm like, you do realize that this is you're watching trolling on social media. Like, this is not how a country is run, or at least that's what I assume. I assume country is not run by people in a hotel room watching a speech and saying, how do I attack my opponent? Let's make fun of, you know, let's make fun of her for saying this, or, you know, it's like, that's not how you can make it look presidential all you want, of like, oh wow. And truth be told, the way they edit it, at least, they do look like they're competent at what they're doing, but what they're doing is trolling. It's like, I forget what he said, but, you know, it's like this stuff that he says on his Truth Social. It's like, It's just trolling.
For fans like myself who grew up on games like Ghost of Tsushima, Tsuji's Meltdown almost feels like a betrayal of sorts. It's disheartening to see such a beloved figure in the gaming world take such aggressive stances in politics. It alienates a substantial portion of his audience. And Daisuke Tsuji's outburst is just one of a lot of cases we've been seeing recently, highlighting a very tense political climate infecting parts of the AAA industry and the voice acting sphere directly, and how these people are quite unhinged and they have a very strong political point of view, which, again, here's the thing. It's fair. Believe what you want in politics, say what you want in politics. But when you start acting unhinged and you start screaming on camera and you let everyone see who you really are, it makes the consumer question what they're purchasing and if they want to support the brand that you're standing behind. And it's not a good thing for everyone at Sucker Punch Studios when someone does something like this. As some folks are eagerly awaiting Ghost of Yate, we can only hope that the gaming companies remember what made their franchises special and successful in the first place. Immersive worlds, compelling stories, and protagonists who capture your imagination without any of this gross underlying political baggage that's been attached to seemingly everything these days. It's almost like people need to take a major step back, stop pushing their activism, their political agendas, and just talk about the games, okay? If you work in the game industry and you don't want to destroy your entire brand and everyone that works at a company, maybe keep your opinions and thoughts to yourself about how you're handling the fallout from a certain political candidate getting elected. But hey, maybe that's just me. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Again, huge shout out to Tebow at Minimal Effort Gaming and Fandom Pulse for bringing this information to me, because without them, I wouldn't have seen it. And it is wild stuff. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, you stay smashing.
Venom says to Harry, we can heal the world.
Smash, change, smash, change, smash, change, smash, change, smash, change, smash, change.